Today we will be continuing with the Linux day 14 session. Okay, and in the last session, right, we had took about the in the day 13 session, right, the last session we had took about the SSH, right, like how to do SSH connectivity and how to make it as a passwordless communication and everything that and all we had covered in the last session. Okay, there's one small thing which we had missed to cover in the last session was, for example, whenever we are doing SSH from one server to other server, like for example here, like this we have. So if there are two servers are there, like this is the developer one server and this is the developer two server. Okay, so this is the developer one server and this is the developer two server actually. So basically, whenever a user is trying to do SSH from here, from the SSH one, that is not what from the developer one to developer two, if he's trying to do SSH, so usually what he will do, he will say SSH root at the rate, specify the IP address of the developer two. If you go to my AWS account, here the SSH to developer IP address. So this is a public IP, or I can even copy the private IP. I'll copy it, and here I'll give that IP address like this. So basically what you're trying to do, you are trying to do an SSH to the developer 2 from the developer 1. So here what is happening by default, the SSH use the port number 22. So all the people, everyone knows always the SSH is the protocol it uses always the port number 22. So even like even the hacker also is aware of in every company, each and every company, right? 22 is a default port which is used, right? But actually, what happened in the company, whenever they configure any user account, they'll not make the SSH to run okay with the port number 22. They will try to change some other port number, right? So there are a lot of free ephemeral ports are available. So using any one of the port, they will try to set it. It means that without using the port number 22, I want to use a port number, some other port number, like suppose like 555, suppose. So suppose here what happened, right? The SSH, instead of running in the port number, instead of using the port number 222, it uses the port number 555, sorry, 4 times 5. Now what happened? The same developer one, he want to connect to developer two with the same username, root, password, username, and the IP address of that machine. So how he will do? So he has to do like this: SSH root at the name, specify the IP address of the developer two machine. Then you have to use a -p option, that is a port number. He has to specify that. It means that this particular user is means running under the port number 555. It means that the SSH actually it is not running now in a default 22. It is actually running in the port number 55. Now where you can do the changes here in this developer two, and basically under etc SSH ssd underscore conf, right? Here there's one parameter is that port is that. So you need to enable here actually. By default it will be 22 only. You need to change it to something like 555. Yeah. Okay. Now let's see now how to work with this. Okay, it's a very small exercise for us to know how things will work. So let me log into both the developer and developer two. So developer one IP address is this. I'll copy it and so for a security reason, what happened, right? They will not make the SSH to run under the port number 22. They'll always make some other port number because nobody should be able to hack it actually while working on it, right? So this is the developer one and the developer two. I'm logging now. So this is the network. I'll try to copy the public IP, paste it over here, and so this is the developer two machine. I think I've given a wrong password. Okay, it's working. So I have logged in as a root user on both the machines, developer one, developer two. Right now here, the SSH, the root user of developer one, he want to do SSH. So when I do SSH root at the rate, specify the IP address of the developer two. This is the developer two, or else This is a public IP. Let me do one thing. Let me copy the private IP of the developer too. Okay, I'll copy it. So instead of giving the public, I'll give the private IP here. Now when I do an SSH to it, it is creating a fingerprint. Okay, I'll say yes. Now it asks me for the password. I need to give the password. And if I give the password as that, now you could see that you are able to log into this developer too. So how you are able to do it? Because by default SSH in this machine, it is running in a port number 22. Correct. So now, but in the real scenario, what happened in the real time in the industry, right? They will not make it to be available in 20. The SSH they'll not make it available in 22. Rather, they will give some customized port where the SSH service will be running under the customized port number. So to change that, actually, what you need to do is that actually I have to say VI under the developer to etc. Okay, SSH SSHD underscore conf. So this file, you could see that it is being commented with hash as 22. Now I'll uncomment it and I will try to do a change to the other port number. 55, 4 times 5. So this is a port number I'm using. So I'll save this file. I'll save this file. Now I'll need to restart the service. I'll say systemctl. Okay. Restart SSHD. Okay. Now again say systemctl status SSHD. Now you could see that SSD is running actually. Okay. Now the same thing, you could see that it is actually a developer. The machine, they see, you could see the server is actually listening on the port number 555. Earlier, if would have sorry, without the port number, earlier if it would have been running in the port number 22. Now the same user here, I'll exit it out. So here I'm back to the developer one. Suppose I do the same SSH to the root at the provide IP address of the developer two. You could see that, see what the mirror is showing. It says that it is not able to connect to this IP address, sorry, to this port number because SSH is not running under port number 22. Now in the same thing, what I'll do, you have to use -p option and give the port number like this 555. Now it will ask you the for the password. See, now it work. So now you know understood, right? Whenever you want to make the port number apart from the 22, you want to make to run in the port number some other, you need to edit the etc ssh ssd underscore conf. So this is the configuration file. You know that we have to open this configuration file and you need to enable this port and you need to view the specified port. But here the point here is that actually it is not so simple that we go and edit this file etc ssh and ssd underscore conf and do it. Suppose assume that your SC Linux is enabled in your machine as well as the firewall is enabled. So SC Linux and firewall both are enabled actually. In that case, what happened, right? So here in my case, right, there is no firewall here because this is a machines which I got from the AWS server, right? So they will disable the firewall as well as they will disable the SC Linux. Assume that both are enabled. See, you know, like I'll be taking a separate topic on SC Linux as well as the firewall later after some point of time. But as of now, what I'm trying to tell that if these services are enabled, it will not allow to do the change of the port number. It means that whenever you are doing a port number change from the default to some other value, so either SC Linux or firewall will try to avoid to do the changes actually. It'll try to do a avoid. It means that it will not allow the port number to be changed. Okay. In that case, what you will do, right? As a user, I'm just telling you. So from here, let me exit out. So here you could see that actually it is allowed here. Like for example, here SSHD underscore config, right? Here it has allowed you because like I mean, it has allowed you because like either firewall or SC Linux is not enabled. Okay, it is disabled state. That's the reason. If it has been enabled, it even though after you change it, you save the file and you do a systemctl restart SSHD, it should have thrown an error saying that yeah, it is not allowing. It's a SC Linux service or firewall will block it actually. So you need to take care that how to enable it actually. Even though the SC Linux is up and running, okay. Even though SC Linux is up and running, and even like your firewall is up and running, still you want to enable the SS to be run in the port number. So you could see that I will tell you some of the configuration files, like for example, for SC Linux, see vi etc SC Linux, okay, and there's a config directory there. This file, now you could see that SC Linux is disabled here actually. Usually what happened, right? SC Linux will be enabled like this. So SC Linux will be enabled. It means that it will be something like enforcing, like this it will be. By default, it will always be enforcing. If it is SC Linux policy is enforcing, it means that you do any changes to the services or configuration file, it will not allow to do it actually. So in SC Linux is enforcing. So in that case, what happened? You have to say set enforce. So you need not to do a reboot of the system. You need to set it again like that. You have to say SC Linux is. So here by default, what happened? It is saying the SC Linux has been disabled actually. If you do a set enforce 0, oh, it is still showing that disabled only. I think they have made it disabled. Okay. So let us see. Even though it is enforcing, it is saying it is, by default it is disabled in AWS actually. So in a normal machine, right, when you install it, right, SC Linux will always be enabled in it, and it is always good that either SC, not either SC Linux as well as the firewall should always be up and running, right, because you have set a firewall rule or you have set up some SC Linux policies. So user should not be able to do the changes of the configuration of the system, right? That's the reason this services should always be running actually. So you should not touch anything. It means that you should not either disable firewall or you should not disable your SC Linux service. If you disable it, what happened, right? You will no, maybe there might be a chance where your system or the machine will be hacked by the hacker. So you should never hack it. You should never get hacked by any kind of hacker. Then you need to have this two service always up and running. So firewall should be enabled as well as SC Linux should be enabled. So in the real time, suppose the SC Linux and the firewall is enabled, still you want to do changes to the port number. So you say that Rajesh, instead of doing using the port number 22, I have to use the port number 5555. In that case, what happened, right? You need to just run few commands like that. Right now, I'm not able to execute it. I'll just type it over here. sc manage. This is the command for your enabling the port number 555 to your SC Linux. Okay, port -a -t ssh -port. Okay, then you say -p TCP. I'll say 555. This is how you have to make sure that your SC Linux, instead of using port number 22, it should able to take the port number for the SSH port as 555. So right now this command will not work, but you can note it down this command. Okay, this is the command, the way how you can set a port number 555 instead of 22. So after running this, now you need to enable the firewall. Actually, here firewall also is not there. See here, if I do a tab firewall -cmd, it is not there. By default, they have been disabled the firewall. I can install the firewall and I can use it actually. Yum install firewall. Sorry, I think I typed twice. So you need to install the firewall. There is a separate command is there. I think it will not work like this way. Okay, so how to install the firewall and all we'll see later. But assume that the firewall is also there in your system. So in that case, what happened, right? You will have the command like this. Sorry, excuse me. Firewall -cmd -fn list -all. Here, if you run this command, it will show you. Right now, it is not there. It will show that what are the different services which are enabled and all. There, it will show that your SSH is having the port number 22 has been enabled. It means that always it allows the traffic, incoming traffic. If anyone is using the SSH protocol to communicate or to connect to the machine, he has to use the port number 22, right? So in that case, you say that no, Rajesh, I want to enable the port number 555 instead of 22. Here also you have to do the changes to the firewall. Like for example, firewall -cmd -fn permanent, like this you have to permanent -fn zone is equal to public. You need to remember all this command completely. Then -fn add -port is equal to 555/tcp. Like this command you need to run, sir. If you run this command, then what the firewall will take that, okay, you understand, okay, Okay, for the SSH actually, the port number 555 is also considered. It means that the 555 port number is where your SSH service will take a connection input actually. It means that it will allow any kind of a no traffic coming for the SSH using this port number 555 like this. So that's the reason you could see that here you are able to do whenever you do SSH to this machine, you have to always specify the port number 5. So guys, this is the one way where actually what happened, right? You will make sure that your SSH doesn't work in a default port number that is 22. Instead, you will be using some your own customized port number, like suppose some number like 222 or 444, any free ephemeral port number, you can take it and you can enable it. Okay, guys. So this is how it is actually. So few of the practicals still have not yet shown like SC Linux and firewall, but you have to understand that SC Linux and firewall will always be enabled in the real time. No doubt, you can't say that SC Linux or firewall will be disabled in the real time. No, it will be enabled always, right? So to make sure that under that scenario, when you are doing the port number change from 22 to some other number, then the SC Linux or firewall will never allow it to change actually. So if you want to make it enable, then you need to run this command. Like what are the command which I told you right here? SC manage this one you have to run, and even the firewall d-cmd permanent, this you have to run the command. So let me note it down this command in my notepad. So this is the command for the SC Linux. This is the command you have to run, and for to make sure the firewall also doesn't throw any error while using the customized port number, you need to use this command. First, you need to run this command. Okay, you are setting up the firewall. I mean, you are listing out the firewalls details, and then you need to set the firewall to the some customized port number like this. So this command only you need to remember, guys. Okay, now so this is all about the running a SSH into your some customized port number. Now the next question is actually like, the next question is that uh, in the last session you have seen that I can able to use an SSH. So in the industry, usually what happened, right? Whenever you're using SSH, you will either have an SSH of your passwordless connect communication. It means that you don't want to do a password. You don't want to have any password enabled. It means that you want to do a password, like a disabled connection where in from one machine to another machine you can directly log in it. Then in that case, I told you right in the last session, like you have to create an RSA key, and you need to store the public key of your one machine to another machine by using SSH-copy ID. That's a command. So that we already did the practicals. If you don't remember, just visit my previous recording. You will understand like how exactly we have made it as a password disabled, right? But in many scenarios, what happened, right? In an industry, they will be using the password communication. Means that whenever you do SSH to some other machine, like the developer one is trying to do SSH to the developer two, obviously it asks for the password. So for many times security reasons, right, they will not make the passwordless communication. They will make as a password communication. Mean that you should always provide the password while running, while executing some command. For example, the developer one, he is trying to do SSH to the developer two. Suppose there is some few things are there here. He want to run quickly certain commands over here from SS from the in the developer two machine. By sitting in the developer one, he want to run some commands which has to get executed in the developer two machines. And how we can do it like that? Simple. For example, here he will say that okay, Rajesh, I'm in the developer one machine. Okay, fine. Now what I will do that I will say it's root SSH root at the rate, and what is the IP address of the developer two machine, guys? The IP address of the developer two. This is the developer two. The IP address, private IP address, will copy it. Here I will give the private IP, and you also know that along with the SSH, I also use a -o option. And what is that? I'll go to the man page. Uh, strict host no checking, right? That is an option, right? You have a -o, which we had seen in the last session, right? Okay, where is it? Yeah, we came with hyphen O option here. You could see that this is the hyphen O option, right? Hyphen O option. In the hyphen O option, you could see that actually there is, if you come down, can you see here, strict host checking, right? This is the value you have to take actually. So I'll say ssh hyphen O strict host no checking is equal to no root at the rate and specify the IP address of the developer 2. Now you know very well that actually why you are using strict host checking no, because like when you do so for the first time, it will try to create some fingerprints and all, and it will prompt you whether you want to go proceed yes or no like that. I don't want to do all those things. I want to just directly prompt for the prompt where it asks for the password like that. In that case, we will be using this strict host token is equal to no. Now this is the developer two machines. Now what I want to just run some command from into that machine. So suppose assume that I want to execute the free command actually. It means that by sitting here in the developer one, I want to log into this developer two as well as I want to run some command here from here. So what you will do, you will just execute like this. So when you execute like this, so as you know that the developer two machines, the port number is 555, which we did. I'll try to do a change actually. So I'll say that no, I don't want to run in a 555 port number. I want to just disable this actually. So I'll make as a 222 as a port number, default port number 222, or else we'll enable. We will just comment it out and then save it. Then you do a systemctl restart SSHD service. Again, you do a status just to verify one time. Systemctl status SSHD. Now you could say that it is running and it is listening to the port number 22 now. Okay. Now you come over here and try to do the same thing. So now you could see that it is asking for the password. So I'll give the password. The password is Red Hat and say enter. Now you could see that the free command is getting executed. Means that right now this free command is not the output of this machine, developer one machine. It is an output. It's a nothing but it is a developer's two's free command. See, if I execute the free command here, can you see the same output here coming over here? Okay. So what is happening that it is just executing and then exiting out. That's all. So you are still in the developer one only, but in the developer two machine, you want to execute certain things. You have to just provide the command over here, like this, either in a double quotes or single quotes, anything. Or else, for example, you say Rajesh, I want to check the uptime of that machine. Last me for the password, I'll say SSH. Red Hat is a password. See, uptime of this command is getting executed. Now, but if you use the same thing, suppose assume that there is one command, the top command actually. Suppose if I go to the developer to machine and if I execute the top command, could you see that actually the top command is basically it is running, but it is using the terminal. It is using the terminal here. See, it will be keep updating unless and until I do a control C, it will not come out from the terminal. So basically top command, it is a terminal interactive. It means that this top command will use the terminal itself actually. So in that case, what you have to do, suppose like you say, Rajesh, in SSH, same command, instead of this, I want to run the top command here. Top command. Let's see what happens. So from the developer one, I'm using the same SSH and I'm giving the root at the rate and IP address of the developer two machine and I'm giving top command. Let's see. So I'll give the password. See, term environment variable not set actually. It means that actually it expects some terminal interactive way. So that's the reason, guys, you have to use a -t option. So whenever any terminal interactive commands are there, right, you have to use the -t option and say enter. I will offer the password, I'll say Red Hat and say enter. Now you could see that, see, now the top command is running over here, right? It's running over here. Now if I do a control C, see, you will come out from the connection. So always it is better that whenever you are executing any command from sitting from one machine to another machine, always use a -t option also along with the -o. It is always a best practice to use it actually. Now here, and also you could see that Rajesh, I want to create some directory over there, or else if I say Rajesh, I want to create a directory like mkdir, mkdir slash India, something slash India like that. So you has to create a under slash India directory has to be created. Now I'll say enter. It must be the first word, password, enter. See. Oh, yeah. You're able to create it. But how you will make out of, no problem. Even that also you can do like this. Plus hyphen LD Red Hat. It shows that actually slash India, it is actually there, and this is nothing but the ls hyphen LD of slash India. See, so with this way you are able to make out that exactly that command is getting it. Or else you can go to the developer tool here, just do a cd slash enter and say ls. Can you see there's an India directory is getting created? Yes, it's getting created. Similarly, you want to remove the directory, no problem. You can just say instead of mkdir, you have to use the rmdir command, remove the directory, or else you can even use the rm-rf. Like this also you can use. So you are removing the directory. Last for the password. Okay, guys. So here, what you're trying to do that without logging into the other external machine, you are just sitting in your machine and you're executing some commands actually. So those commands and all has to be get executed into the other machine. So that username and the IP address and all we are providing here itself. Correct. Now you say that Rajesh, I want to execute more than 2-3 commands like that. No problem. So I can execute like this, right? ls pwd date command semicolon who command. See, all these commands, 4 commands I'm executing in the external system or in the developer tool machine. See, ls command, date command, pwd command, date command, who command. See, all these are getting executed by this. So in this way we are able to do it, right? Now the question comes here that when I'm executing it, it asks me for the password actually, right? And every time you know that I'm always giving the password because it is still not a passwordless communication. It is a password communication. It means that while executing, it will ask you for the password you need to provide. Now, to make it as a password, it means that is there any utility or is there any command where using that command I can pass a password also while executing this entire line. It means that while doing SSH, it should not ask me for the password in the command prompt, or rather it should take an input as a password from while executing. So in that case, to automate it, it means that you have a password communication. It means that you need to provide a password, but still, suppose you're writing any script or something, you want to automate it. Then in that case, there is a utility or there's a command known as SSH pass, like SSH pass. So if I execute SSH pass, I don't think so. It is installed in my machine, so it is not installed. So what I will do, I will say yum sudo or yes, let's say yum install SSH pass hyphen y. So, okay, what it says that extra m. Okay, this is what it is, right? I'll do one thing, guys. Actually, I will have a Red Hat. Actually, this is a Red Hat machine. I have these are Amazon Linux. So let me check, or else later we'll see it. So let me connect it to this public IP address of the Linux server, and I log into this machine. So I'm logged into the Linux machine now. Linux server. This is a Red Hat server, I think. Red Hat. Okay. So I'm able to logging in. Okay, I think, and it is a profile. I've changed it. I'll go and I'll just remove this lines. Okay, I'll see. Now what I will do, I will try to do a yum install ssh pass hyphen y. Let's see if it is installing. Unable to find it actually. Maybe it is. You need to install the EPL actually. EPL. So let us see. So EPL package installation on RHA. So how to enable it? So this is the command I have to execute it. See, yum install sudo yum install this. So this I have to install it actually, or else let me try in the Amazon Linux. Uh, this is here. Okay, so he's saying that this has to be installed actually. So Apple is getting installed. So this is a very important package Apple, because of which actually what happened, it has many other repositories, right, where we can able to install many other packages actually. So Apple is installed. Now let us try if we are able to install the yum install what is that, sshpass -y. Now let's see if it is installed or not. Yes, now it is getting installed. You could see that in the developer one. Now you could see that sshpass is installed. So guys, make sure that whenever you're installing, always you try to make sure that you always install this Apple-release package first before. So whenever you're working on Red Hat or CentOS or Amazon Linux, right, these are very, very important actually. This has an extra package for enterprise Linux repository configuration, and it is always recommended, we say. So either in CentOS or RHL or Amazon Linux, right, you need to install it. Similarly, you can try it here also, guys. Like for example, same command. So same command, like this, copy, and this is nothing but your Red Hat Linux. This is a Red Hat Linux actually. So I'm installing this package. Unable to find. Okay, we will see that. But here in Amazon Linux, it has installed actually. Okay. So now here I have installed the sshpass. Okay, no doubt, no problem. So I had a requirement that I have to install it actually. Now, if you see over here this command, whenever I executed this command, right? Suppose I want to execute this command, free command. Let me check actually, free command. It'll ask me for the password. I'll say Red Hat, right? Now, now it is executing. But as I said, right, it is prompting for the password. I'm giving the password as Red Hat, and it is getting executed. So how I can automate it? I can automate it without asking password with the help of a SSH pass actually. How to do that? SSH pass is a command I have, -p for password. The password is Red Hat actually, like this, and we just copy paste this case, this line, completely like this. See, now you could see that it will not ask me for any password. See, okay, can you see here, guys? The free command is getting executed. Similarly, I can even run for any other command like who am I command, okay, or else pwd command, or else what else, date command, right? See, I can execute any number of commands. What I did the mistake, I think I have to use semicolon. So semicolon, semicolon, right? Now you see, guys, I'm able to execute all the commands. Correct. So this is a very good utility which we use for automation task also. Okay. Now here, but the thing is like here, while using it actually here, you are specifying the password also. It means that if anybody sees the execution to save, you want to keep this password into some file actually. So suppose some file like password file, or else some ps pass file like this. So I'll create this pass file, and I will say that now. Okay. Again breaking. So I'm giving a Red Hat as a password. It means that I'm storing the password into a file, pass file. So I have a file by name pass file now. So I have a file as a pass file. So basically, I need to just, instead of giving the pass, showcasing the password here in the command line, so I'll be using it like this: ssh pass, okay, -f file name pss pass. This is a file. It means that you're telling the SSH that look for the password into this file actually, and the rest other is same actually, like this. So for example, I'll just execute the free command. See, see guys now. So instead of passing the password directly in the command line, you can actually keep your password into a file and just give the path information about the file. Currently, this file is also there in the same working directory. That's the reason I'm not giving the complete path. Okay. So that's the reason you say that you're telling to SSH path that please refer to this file for the password. Or else there is one more is the environment variable is there. SSH path -help. Can you see that there is one variable by name -e option, password is passed as an environment by SSH pass. See, there's a variable by name SSH pass. So what I can do here, export SSH pass is equal to Red Hat, like this. I'm using the variable. So this is like an environment variable in between, right? Now what I will do, same thing. I'll go, you can use a arrow key to relocate it. Now here you can just to say -e option. Okay? -e option. Now you could see that it executes. So the second method or the third method of using -f or -e is better compared to -p, right? Because the -p option, what you're doing, you're directly showcasing anyone stating that, oh, this is the password of your username, right? So this is not correct, right? So that is not the correct way, right? So that's the reason we have. So mostly this always whenever you're working, you will be either using a -e option or -f option to showcase or to pass the password. Okay. So that's how the SSH pass on. So now using this SSH utility, guys. So basically, right, we will be writing a lot of scripts in our day-to-day activity, even in the real time. I will, after this session, I will show you one of the my automation tasks which I have used by using SSH pass. Right, I have tried to do an automation using this SSH pass. Okay, now what we will do, we will see some few scripts actually. So what we are trying to do here, for example, I have this machine, 3 machines are there. Okay, so I have a Linux machine, I have a developer one, developer two, I have a Linux server machine. Okay, okay. Now sitting in the developer one machine, okay, I want to run some series of command in this developer two machine, as well as some series of command in the Linux server machine. So by sitting here itself, I want to automate certain tasks, saying that I want to execute few commands over in both this machine. How to do that actually, or how I can write a script actually. Okay, so you know very well that actually that by using SSH pass itself, you are able to do it. Now, for example, if I do an SSH pass -e and specify this complete. So here what you're doing, you are specifying root @ specify the IP address of the developer two. This machine's developer 2's IP address you are specifying over here and you're executing. Similarly, I can even use this also, right? Instead of this IP address, let me give the IP address of the Linux machine, Linux-server. Correct. So this machine's IP address. Right. What is the this machine IP address? Private IP, this one. So copy it here. See, I'm able to execute it. See, it works. Correct now? It works fine. It means that what I'm trying to tell you that these commands, this and both this, I can write a simple shell script itself to execute it, right? So how to write a shell script actually? Now you could see that actually that let me go to my scripts directory where I have kept. Now there are some of the scripts actually. So here what is happening that if I open the script, right, this is a text file. What I'm trying to do, I'm this instead of this, let me multiple commands on multiple servers. Yeah, this would be the right one. So here what I'm doing, guys, you could see that I have writing a simple script. See what I'm trying to do that in one machine I'm trying to execute the date command, in the other machine I'm executing the uptime, and in the third machine I'm executing the free command, right? These are the different commands I'm executing, right? So I just I have just copy pasted this. So what I can do that I can just copy paste this complete script actually. So this I've commented purposefully, but I'll just show you. See, I'll copy this. It's complete. What he's trying to do that he is trying to execute the same commands, different commands in the same IP address. See, 100.286.187.33. Similarly, here also the same IP address, guys. That's not a different. It means that consider that I'm from the developer one. I want to execute this all to developer two. So in this case, you can simply write the script like this, right? So I'll just copy it actually. So I'll go to the developer one machine here. So I'll write one script, a simple multiple something multi mul ti multi script execution something multi script .sh. Now what I will do, I'll just save this. Right now I'll do just one thing. I'll uncomment this. I'll just delete these lines. Now, what is an IP address of the developer 2 machines? The developer 2 machine private IP address is this. This is the developers 2 private IP address. So I'll copy it over here. See. So just what you are trying to do here. So this is a nice way of arranging things by using echo command, right? So just do it actually. Similarly, what happened here? I'm not running through an automation user. I'm running through a root user actually. So here also you need to do the changes like this. Okay. So or else you can use that some variables you can use guys like this. For example, user. Okay. So user is equal to root server name is equal to put the IP address of your developer to this IP address, right? Private IP address. So I'll just put the IP address of like this. That's all. Now what I will do, I will just try to the date command output on the server is a dollar of server underscore name. So just replace with the variable name. Similarly, here also the same stuff actually. What are doing? You are doing a username. So what is the root username? Root, right? Dollar of user. And what is the IP address? Dollar of server name. Right? But this is pretty easy. Dollar of server underscore name. So same thing you have to change it here also everywhere. So any doubts you are having, guys?
Yeah, Rajesh, I have one quick question regarding pass file. You are keeping like a direct password. Can I keep like password colon like password name or something else? We need to keep only the password of the system. How we can
No, no,
accommodate?
no. This is the file name, sir. This
Okay.
inside the file I have kept, sir, like this.
Yeah. It's kept the information what we have to give is like directly we can give the password or we need to give password colon and the password or value like that.
No,
How we are
you can directly pass the password with the hyphen p option, but that is not a preferred way. Either you have to use the environment variable, or either you have to use the file hyphen f option.
yeah, that's fine. Right, what I'm asking, inside the file, the password file, there would be directly we can keep the password value over there, or we need to give a password colon that value.
No, no, password. You have to directly keep the password because it will try to interpret this file only.
Okay, okay.
So you need to give the password only, sir, directly inside a file. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, not required any variable and any
No, no, no,
value.
no, no. Why you have to give all those things? Then how it will interpret that password then? SSH will always look for a file. It will try to read the content from
Okay.
that file
If,
actually.
apart from password, the other content is there. It's going to be throw error, right?
It will throw error. Obviously, it will throw error.
Thank you.
Have you seen anywhere something else?
Rajesh?
So, no, I'm asking you, have you seen anywhere in something else? Have you seen in the SSH pass something apart from this? No.
No.
Okay, fine. So now we have automated it. Now you could see that in the same server, sir, we are trying to run the all these three commands. All these days we are running in a command line, like separate. You can even still you can take this and you can execute it. Now, if I save this file, you can do a chmod plus x multi-script something, and then the dot slash multi-script. So now you could see that. See, nicely it is coming. ls command, date command, uptime command, free command. All these commands output you are nicely getting in the you're able to execute it, right? Now the same script what I'm trying to do here actually, now here, okay, fine, I'm running this script in only one machine actually, that is a developer tool. Suppose I have more than one IP address, like, because I want to execute the same command in a different in a different like what do you call, in a different servers actually. In that case, what you have to do that I need to create one remote.txt file like this. So I'll open here. I'll say remote.txt file. What is the file name, sir? Remote underscore server. I just so here what I will do, I will try to give the two IP addresses of the machines. One is the developer 2's IP address. Private address I will copy it like this. And the next line I will give this machines also Linux-server, and I will give the private IP address of this. It means that I'm executing the same command. Now I need to execute in a two different servers, the same thing. So now what I will do, I have this file, guys. So server remote server.txt file is there. Now you could see the script. Actually, you could see that what we are doing it here. We're simply using one basic for loop actually, right? So these lines I have. So what I want to do it actually is my comment something, and here also whenever you want to comment the number of lines, right? You have to always use like this, correct? So like this. So whenever you want to comment the section of lines, when you comment like this with this, that means that the shell will not interpret this line, right? So similarly, I did here also same thing actually. So now what I will do, I'll just copy these lines and I will just paste it like this. Okay, or else I have to copy this. Okay, I'll do one thing. I will open the nano editor multi script, come over here at the end, or else I will just commenting this. Okay, and then I'm just pasting this line. See, now it has come in order. Now Control W or Control O, okay, Control X. So now I have copied the lines actually, right? This line I have commented out. This I have copied. Now what we are doing here? Now, what you are doing that for you are using a basically you are using a for loop for variable name each server instance or option dollar of cat of remote server. In the remote server, you know that you are having a two IP addresses. Okay. So now what will happen? It will take as a for loop like one after the other, one IP it will take, right? Now what you are doing that here inside it, when you inside the for loop, what you're doing echo executing the commands on each server. It means that here what will happen that this variable will have the first IP address in this machine, correct? Now here echo it will execute it, and here you are just trying to decorate certain output when you're getting it like this. And again inside the for loop, one more for loop is there. Like for example, because you are executing three commands, I want to execute the date command, uptime command, and the free-w command. Whenever I want to execute three commands, that's a for each and every IP address, I want to execute these three commands. That is my requirement. Now here what happened in a single server only, I'm able to execute the multiple commands. So the same server I'm using here, I have defined one variable. I'm just calling that variable and I'm just substituting. But whereas here in this case, I have two IP addresses. So in those two machines, again, I want to execute the same three commands. So that's the reason you know the logic that I need to use some two for loop. One for loop is for taking one IP address of the each, and other for loop inside that for executing each and every command, these three commands onto the same server. So that's the reason inside the for loop you have one more for loop. For variable name is each command, something instance or option. Here you are specifying the commands. Okay, date command, uptime command, and free command like this. So now what you are doing here, echo the each command. Okay, the each command, it means that the date first it will come date command. The date command output is on the server each server, which is that each server is a variable here actually. So it will take that one IP address, first IP address, and now what you will do, you could know that guys. So you, I think I have to automate. I have to comment out this line and enable the other line actually, because I need to use sshpass, right? So I'll uncomment this line. See, SSL, the rest is same, sir. Here one thing what you have to do that here you need to specify the root user, because I don't have anything like a root user, or else you already have a variable over there at the up, right? So I will be using that what is it dollar of user like this. That right? right? And this each server is nothing but each and every server, whatever you're getting, that will be as an each server actually, right? Each server, right? And each command is about each and every command. It means that basically this line is same, guys. Whatever you're using here, the same line is here actually. So this example just to showcase that actually we can execute the multiple commands in the multiple server at the same time. So to how to automate it, this is how you have to automate it, right? So this do is close to the done, and this do is close to the done. So that's what you have to say two times done, right? For each. So let us save this file and let us execute this script actually. Sh or say multi. Okay. Can you make out? See, under the 172.31.142, these three commands have been executed. Under 172.31.91. These three commands have been executed, right? So here in this case, we are able to show how to run a multiple different commands in a multiple different server actually. Is it clear, sir? So how easy, right? It is so easy with the help of SSH pass, right? So you are able to easily, automate any of the tasks. Correct, guys?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, fine. Now, what are the other examples we have, guys? So other examples are there something like we have a different command with a different user account or the different password. See here what is happening over here. Here in both this server, if you come here, cat of what is it? Cat of a remote server, right? In this file, I'm having an IP address, this two IP address, right? But what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to use a username as a root. Here also I'm using the username at root only. Correct. So when it comes to the script, actually, see, I'm only considering only one username, that is dollar user, nothing but root only. Correct. But here there's a requirement comes, no, Rajesh, I don't want to execute on the root only. I want to have a different user, different users with the different servers and different commands. All together, everything differently I want to execute. It means that I don't want to execute the same command in all the three servers or all the two servers. I want to execute under different user under different commands like that. So in that case, how you're going to automate it? Using the same. So you have a different commands with a different user password. So this is what we have written a script actually. Here what happened, right? I need to mention some more information like this. For example, I have a server info.txt file actually. Under that you could see that I am having one IP address and space. Here you are giving the username. Here you are giving this password. And after that you are saying that what is the command you want to execute it. So all this information about the particular server name, username, password, and the command what you want to execute, everything you have mentioned in the server.info. Similarly, what happened? You are having this another second IP address. What is the username? Tomcat. What is the password? Tomcat123. Who am I? Like this. So it means that this you consider as this is a developer 2 machine like this. This is the developer 2 machines, and the other one is a Linux server machine. Okay. So can I do it over here? It means that in the developer 2 machine, if I want to replicate this scenario, I need to have the username as automation. I need to have a password as automation at 123. So in the developer 2, here in the developer 2, let me create that username. User add. So this is a command user add automation. PASSWD. You are setting the password of the username automation. What is the password I have to user? Automation at the rate 123. Okay. Automation at the rate 123. Automation at the rate 123. Okay, guys. So you are given a username and the password as automation 123. Fine. Now in the other server, here in the other server, you need to create a username root password as a tomcat123, and this is a command I'm executing. So I've already logged into the Linux machine here. This is my Linux server, right? So I will create a user account. User add tomcat PASSWD password of tomcat. What is the password you need to set? I need to set the password as tomcat123. Tomcat123. Okay, I have set now everything. So now what you have to do that you have to come to your developer one machine. Here you need to create, already you have a file of a remote server, right? I'll just copy that a remote server machine as a, what is that? As a server info text like this. So I'm just copying it like this. So I have a server info now. Of server info.txt file is created. This has the IP address of both the machines, right? Here I'll just to change these things. That's all this. So here, I'll come over here. I'll copy this one, correct? And then from this and copy this. That's all. Now, so it means that this file server underscore info has all the information, sir. It has the information about the IP address of the machine where you want to do what with which username and what is the password of this, and also what is the command you want to execute in that in this server. That everything you are in a single line you have mentioned it. Similarly, the same. This is one more server is there. Under this server, there is a username by name Tomcat. The password for the Tomcat user is Tomcat123. What is the command you want to execute? For you want to execute this command. So you got it, guys. What I'm trying to do here, clear? So you are executing a different command in a different server with a different user account actually. So what is the script name you can say in the different server, different different command with a different user. Oh my God, it's such a big script name, right? Like this. Okay, what I'm doing over here, I will just copy paste this lines.
Is there any limitations for file name, Rajesh? There is no limitation, right?
No, nothing. You can have up to 255 characters file name.
So
Is a
255
file
limitation.
name. The file name can have up to 255 characters. If the length of the file name, you can have up to 255 characters. Or single file name in Linux actually. Got it, sir? What I'm saying?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. See, I'm copy pasting it, and then say Shift Control O and say Enter and Control X. Right now you can open this different. Now, see guys, here I'm using a for loop here actually. Sorry, while loop here. I can use a for loop also. What is the difference? You will get to know now, right? For example, now here, okay. Now let me do one thing, guys. Let me do one thing. Let me show the same thing. Suppose, for example, suppose I'm using some for loop actually, for.sh actually. Yeah, I'm just showing you /bin/bash. Okay. For variable name is sir info, in stands for option. Okay. Dollar, you can see the cat of what is that? What is the file I have, sir? Uh, server info, correct? Server info, right? Server underscore info, correct? So these are file. So you will see that or.sh something server underscore info dot txt. Okay, this I'll copy it actually. So I'll open it. Now what I will do here, I think I've already copied it. So now I'll say server info. Now what I will do here, okay, do echo dollar of server or server info.
Rajesh, in for we need to do cat, right?
Yeah,
Dollar
cat.
cat.
Yeah, I missed it. Yeah. Okay. Now see if I save it, if I execute the script actually, if I execute the script ./for.sh, see, can you see here what I'm having the server info? See, this is the line. This is what I'm having, but how it is considering for loop, right? I'll open the script also for.sh. See, it is taking this, it is opening a file, it is reading this line, but what is it is doing? No, it is just printing this next to each other, right? It is not considering the full length as it is, right? For loop will not consider like this actually. So instead, what you can do, instead of using the for loop, the same for loop, see, I will not use a for loop. You understood, guys, what I'm saying? Whenever I want to process this whole line, I have to process this complete line as it. I should not take like, it should not print one line after the other line and on. Whereas in the for loop, actually what happened, right? You are able to print it, all these things, but it is not considering as a whole line. It is considering as one field actually. Oh, it will print this one first, then the automation, then automation at 123, and then date command, and again this IP address, and then Tomcat, and then Tomcat 123. So it is processing this each and every field one after the other. Correct? But in my scenario, when I am working for, when I am automating the task of executing the different commands in the different server with a different user account, right? In that case, what happened that I need to process this completely as one line. Okay, for that, oh, now you understood. Okay, Rajesh, I will not be able to achieve using the for loop. Let me try if I'm able to use in for while loop actually. Okay, under the while loop, okay, while loop, while read, okay, and then what you do, you'll remove this completely. Okay, sorry, what you're doing? Okay, while read, suppose like something like serve, I'll use serve or serve info. I'm using variable name serve info and serve info. Right now, you could see that actually it is getting input from, what is the file name, guys? It is getting input from the servinfo.txt here. Now you see how it behaves. I think the same. I will try to move this for loop to while loop actually, right? Because it will not confuse you. Right now, I have a while loop actually, same program. Instead of using for loop, I'm using the while loop. Now you see, guys, how it will work actually. See, sh or chmod plus x while dot sh, and I'll say dot slash while dot sh. Correct? See, guys, how it is. See, it has processed the whole stuff. See, when I do a cat of while dot sh, can you see here what it has did in, and even the cat of server info dot sh. See, if you see this output server info dot sh, see there are two lines are there. Correct? Now in the while loop, while read serve info, it is a variable name. Right? And here what happened to do, right? Echo dollar serve info done. And while loop, it is getting all the input from that server underscore info.txt with the help of this less this as a input redirection, right? So it is getting, now what it will consider, it will consider this whole line as one input, and it will store to this variable, right? And it is printing. Oh, it means that Rajesh, one single variable, it will try to save this entire line. Okay, fine. Shall we have a different variables for the different? Suppose like here you are having a, here you are having the fields, right? First field, second field, third field, fourth field. Can I print it, Rajesh, like this, or I want to print only because this serve info variable, it is treating everything as a single one. So the whole output it is storing in only one variable. Oh, can I have a separate variable? Yes, sir. You can have a separate variable also. For example, here, read serve info, right? See, now what I'm doing here, guys, see here, what is the second line here? Here is the username, right? Username. Second is a password or some variable name, password. And second is a command, cmd, like this. See, now serve info, see, dollar of user, dollar of password, dollar of command. See here. Because still it prints it. It means that you can able to print it. Now, for example, you want only username actually. You want only the username, right? So here what happened, right? In the echo statement, okay, you can remove all these things. So say, Rajesh, I want only the username and the password. I don't want anything. See? Dot slash while dot sh. See, guys? So it is only printing the username and the password, right? So if you do a cat of while dot sh and cat of server info, now you can make it easily that, okay, there are four fields are there, one, two, three, four. How while loop will consider while read serve info username password command from this file. So it will consider each and every field as this is nothing but the first variable, and this is for the second variable, that username. Third is nothing but the password. Fourth is nothing but the cmd. So can I use the while loop now because I got the control of this line, correct? Oh, it means that I know what is the username and what is the password, what is the username and password in the command. Same logic I have applied in the different commands for different servers. So here you could see that. See guys, now what I am doing here. While read server name, username, password, command 1, command 2. Okay. Now you could see that actually, see here, you can make out execute in the command 1. That is a date in the info server info.txt. What I have executed? The server 1 if info.txt. You could see that in the server 1 info.txt, what you are having under this server, this IP address, under this IP address, this user, this command has to get executed. Under this server, with this username and password, who am I has to get executed, right? So these are the different commands. So now what I'm doing that I'm using the same logic while read server name, username, password, command 1 and command 2. Correct? Now you see that executing command 1 on the server with the username, with the first username is automation and the password is automation 123. I'm using sshpass actually, and I'm using that $pass actually. So $pass is what? This is what $pass, right? SSH, right? And with the same option, yes. Guys, here I have to use a -n option. Okay? -n option, you have to use it actually. Stick no sticking it, and the same thing, whatever you're doing. See, username is nothing but $user @ server is nothing but the server name. And what is the command you want to execute? Oh, command 1 you have to execute. Similarly, what happened? The same thing. SSpass with this with the command 2. Right? So now it is so simple, right? But you understood the logic, right? How to use why exactly we're using while loop here, right? So I'll save this file. I will just and I will execute this command, this script. Okay, guys, how nicely it will execute. Correct? So in this way, you are able to execute a different command in a different user account. Like that, you are able to do it actually. Okay. So now okay. So there is some issues there. Okay, that's fine. But you are able to execute like this. This is the way you have to execute it. Okay. So if you've been asked how to do it, so this is the way you have to do it. So SSH pass is most used actually. Is it clear, guys? Hmm?
Yeah, right.
Okay. So what we'll do, we will continue now or else we'll stop it. We'll take it tomorrow. Because next is I have to perform the user management. The next topic is not but the user management topic. I will tell you, and then is file permission or the permission management. Okay. As well as I need to even execute show about the cron job, actually cron tab. How to show the cron tab like this way, and I need to little bit take on the SED and the awk programming.
Rajesh, your voice is breaking in middle.
Okay, now. So now is it fine?
Yeah, now fine, Rajesh.
But yeah, it's raining. Yeah, it's raining. That's the reason we're not able to. There's a problem in the net actually. Guys, so what we will do, we'll stop it today and we'll take it for tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. We'll take all these topics actually.
Yeah, sure.
So tomorrow morning we will be having at 11 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Chalo, thank you guys. Naresh, can you stop the session?
Yeah.